Hi, I'm Donna Becerra, and today I'll be reading from my Christmas story, Twirly Shirley and the Brother Like No Other. A Twirly Shirley adventure with a lesson about love and forgiveness. And in case you haven't heard of Shirley, she's that moody little girl with braids that are twirly. Twirly Shirley was in the school Christmas play. It was quite a success, I'm happy to say. Shirley got stage fright before the show began. Her braids were taking off like small fans. The teacher, Mrs. Earl, said, "Please take it easy. You're making this school a little too breezy." It was too late. Her braids were out of control. Shirley brought in a wind straight from the North Pole. The auditorium door flew open wide. A blast of white snowflakes swirled inside. The audience was frozen by the cold air. Everyone in the room had frosted hair. By then, Shirley's braids were totally manic, and all of the teachers were in a panic. Mrs. Earl's teeth had started to chatter. She said to Shirley, "Child, what is the matter? I know that you've memorized each little line. Just take a deep breath. You're going to be fine." At last, Shirley listened to what Mrs. Earl said. Those braids finally settled down on her head. Now the school was becoming much warmer, and Shirley would prove to be quite a performer. Shirley starred as Tiffany, an innocent young lady, but she had an enemy who was wicked and shady. Who was this enemy? Well, he was none other than little Tiffany's very own big brother. His name was Johnny, and he was quite tricky. His mind was twisted, his fingers were sticky. Tiffany loved Christmas. She was generous and kind, but Johnny had nothing but trouble on his mind. Johnny watched Tiffany and gritted his teeth as she decorated her tree and put up her wreath. Yes, Johnny was naughty. He stole and he lied. Why, he was so heartless, he'd never even cried. John's parents once got a call from the school, just letting them know he'd broken every rule. All of the teachers would tremble with fear every time they found out that boy was near. John definitely had a bad attitude. I'm telling you, he was one rough little dude. He especially had it in for his dear little sister, but so far his breaks had just barely missed her. One day Johnny's family was out shopping for toys. They lined up to see Santa with other girls and boys. While they stood there in line waiting for St. Nick, Johnny prepared a terrible trick. Johnny planned something really mean. He had sneaked in his costume from Halloween. He waited quietly until Tiffany's turn. He just stood there and listened to his stomach churn. Santa told Tiffany, "If you want something, just ask." That's when Johnny sneakily slipped on that mask. Tiffany said, "All I want is peace, love, and joy. And maybe you could throw in one little toy." When the children saw Johnny, they all ran and cried. Even poor old Santa was terrified. John ran up to Santa, jumped right on his lap. I'm telling you, Santa was one frightened old chap. Santa asked trembling, "Have you been a good boy?" John snakily hissed, "Mama's pride, Daddy's joy." If you're wondering what I want, I'll let you know later. In the meantime, just get me a pet alligator. If you'd like to read more of the story, it's available on Amazon.